Well, well, well. Hell really is freezing over. Donald Trump is our president elect, and the Chicago Cubs are our World Series champions. World Series champions. Sorry I haven't been doing the videos. I have obviously been incredibly wrapped up with the Cubs postseason. This is the first week that I am not crying whether they're winning or losing many times in a game. So sorry about that. The review, quick review of the what has happened since I haven't been doing videos, and then the weekly matchups will come later. But right now, apparently, I had to put together some freaking proposal from something that wasn't actually my proposal. But I guess I'll just outline the facts, or what most everybody has wanted, or what has been talked about in the league over the last few years, and what is being brought to everybody's attention now. Ted has hidden in his room, so that he's not the face of any of this. I thought the Cubs thing would have brought him out, but apparently he's getting a little bit too smart for me. Anyhow, this is it. So it's going to be either a yes or no on this whole proposal. If someone has some bright idea on how to tweak one thing, if this proposal fails, then we can revote. However, you guys have to respect the democracy of Fraggle Rock. If the votes have it, I don't want to see protesting in the streets of, the comment boards and the text messages. I'm looking at you, Cliff, and Jeff. Liz, like I said in the text messages, you know your vote doesn't count. We barely let Ted's count, or Cliff's. I think they should count only as half of each, so they might have to have one. Anyhow, proposal is this. On the board, number one, on the question of the week, it will be a yes or no. If you agree with this proposal about the 10 team or the 12 team expansion, then hit yes. If you do not agree, hit no. That simple, people. The proposal. Full, complete. Expanding to a 12 team league with it switching to PPR, as many have stated that with a larger league, the talent pool is less and PPR is needed. The two new people that would be coming in would get all of their draft picks, meaning round 1, round 2, round 3, and then join us all in round 4. For those who do not feel that is right, if everybody kept their top players, and instead of like D-Row drops the number 1 running back in the league, the top 30 players are already off the board. So those top 6 before we pick are picks 31 through 36. To ask them to pick afterwards would be blatantly unfair. You might not believe so, but you would not join a league like that either. They're already going to be at a disadvantage, as there is going to be no Ezekiel Elliott. There is not going to be some Adrian Peterson or Antonio Brown or Odell Beckham or Tom Brady or something like that they already have on their team. They're starting from scratch, meaning they're starting from the players that people did not want. So they would have to take those 6. Even with those first 6, you could trade them one of your players for one of their draft picks. That's still open. You can definitely do that. to expect them to do otherwise, unfair. Um, Ted, was there anything else?
12 team?
Yeah. I went over 12 team, PPR, and how they would draft.
No, that's about it.
I think that's it, right? Those are the only real rules, and it's not really a change.
Right. No, that's it.
I think PPR would be the really only like rule change. The other one would just be adding 2 teams, right?
Right.
Okay. Again, this doesn't have to happen. People have been asking for a 12 team for about 6 years. And not everybody has been on board. Some people have been, some people haven't. We're just bringing it to a vote. The PPR has usually been pretty unanimous if we ever did move up. That's why I said PPR. And of course, they would get the first drafts. However, they would go into the ping pong lottery just like anybody else. If anybody had any questions about that. If they draw and they draw number 5, they could get the 5th draft pick in the 4th round. And if the other team drafts, 10th or 11th, they would still get, the 5th and 11th pick because our keepers count as like round 1, round 2, round 3. They get auto picked. So they would still pick in that order. So of course 5 would go first, 11 then second, then 11 then 5, and so on and so forth. But come the 4th round when everybody else joins in, it would be just like any other draft. I was really surprised that one was kind of contested because I really don't see any other way to bring somebody else in except for a complete redraft, which I know that 4 teams at least or 5 teams at least would definitely not want, and especially since we've been going for a whole decade, I just think would be kind of crappy. For some teams that have set for a long time, like setting things up and yada yada yada, I don't think it would be fair to a lot of teams to do that. And I do know at least one of the players that would come in. I play in another league. His name is Cliff. Cliff Dean. He's another Asian. Really nice guy. I know some of you guys know him. I'm in another league with him, like I said. Him and pretty much anybody. No one's going to take that much of a disadvantage where everybody gets all their keepers and then they draft with us. And start with us. So we'll have 4 players before they have 1 in some instances. That just wouldn't be fair. Just like any expansion league, like in the NFL, in the expansion league, who got the first players when they expanded? Carolina and Jacksonville. Ted didn't answer quick enough. He's still trying to ignore the situation. Anyhow, guys, vote yes if you want this. That means expansion to 12, PPR, and the draft pick whole that thing where they would draft. They would draft 1, 2, and 3 because they don't have keepers eating up their 1, 2, and 3. Yes if you agree. No if you don't. Majority rules, guys. It's no hard feelings either way. It's no big deal. If you want it, great. If we don't want it, no big deal. All right. However, I forgot to mention this, Ted. You didn't remind me. If we go to 12 teams, more teams will make the playoffs. I do believe with a 12-team league, you have to have 6 make the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, right?
6 make it.
6 make it? I have to look at the ESPN and if it can be modified, but I think 6 make it, which make 50%. That's 10% more than what happens now. So that's 1 plus for those in the middle of the road. You know who you are. And anyhow, that's it, guys. Vote.